Alright, hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to Tower of Time. It's a, I guess, isometric CRPG kind of game. Less about the story and more about the combat, which, for me, is actually kind of a huge plus. So many CRPGs are these, bloated, story-ridden giants, and I'm always afraid to play them. And sometimes it's kind of nice to just play them for the tactical aspects. I used to play the Temple of Elemental Evil game. Which is one of the old CRPGs, based on a really famous D&D module. And it was so story light that all you were doing was just running around exploring and fighting, and it felt really good. There were a couple of quests, but, for the most part, it really was, based on the just going in and clearing out a giant dungeon, and I liked that. And so that's, I believe, what Tower of Time is. So I'm excited to get started with that. This game has been in early access, I believe, for the last year, and they gave me a copy when it first came out, and I felt kind of bad. No, it was like a month or two after. They had like a big update coming out, and they sent me a copy, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it, and then I never did. And then the biggest update came out, the game coming out in full release, and so I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity to get going, especially because we've got Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire coming soon, which is going to be much more story-ridden. And so I don't know, I kind of wanted to get a bit of a taste of CRPGs before we get going. I don't know if this is going to be a series or just like a couple of videos or who knows. Anyway, enjoy the story. Don't forget about upgrading your party. Enemies might surprise you. I could probably just do normal mode. It'd be nice. I like it when you can change the difficulty through the game. But whatever, it's not a big deal.
I will tell you my story. Our story. What is the reason, you ask? The story needs to be told, and if there is no one left to tell it, its meaning will be lost. Why now, you ask, when all lies shattered around us? Yes, you are right. But we are at the end of times, and when something ends, something else begins. So my story might yet live on in this world. They gave me different names. They called me the hero, the one who sacrificed everything to save the people and the land. They called me the destroyer, who betrayed the trust of all races and brought the end of times. I am both, and I am neither. I want you to hear me, see through my eyes, understand the reasons for the things I have done. And before I pass from this world, I need to be judged. I need you to judge me. Our land is dying, and we are dying with it. This was not always the case. Artara was once a place of wonder and beauty. The 5 races thrived in peace and harmony. Then, long ago, something happened. A cataclysm of unimaginable proportions. Something so disastrous, we don't even have a name for it. For when it destroyed our civilization, it took with it all knowledge of history. The past is now lost to us. Our future is uncertain. We are left trapped in a bleak and dismal present. The land itself is our enemy now. The weather extreme and unpredictable. Droughts persist for several weeks, followed by floods that wash everything away. Yet our gravest problem is the lack of sunlight. Storm clouds shroud our world in everlasting twilight. Without the sun, we are unable to grow food, and so we struggle to survive this dark world, a seemingly hopeless battle. I look back now to when I was a young boy, living on the fringe of the human domain. While hunting for food, I stumbled upon ruins uncovered by a recent earthquake. A bad omen, normally avoided. But this time, something drew me in.
I like the narrator. He's got that, like, what is it called? Oh, hello. He's got, like, a really good verbal, is it called verbal hash or vocal hash or something? Just the, I really like narrators that have that. It can get a little bit grating, but I enjoy it just because it's a nice sound. And hopefully when I'm older, I get something like that. I mean, I guess I can do it if I really want to. I don't know, maybe? I could definitely force it further, but I get the feeling it would probably permanently ruin my voice. So I'll just let it happen when it happens. I mean, I talk for a living, so I get the feeling by the time I'm 60 or 70, my voice is going to be some kind of weird monster. Who knows? Anyway, the entire morning passed without the sign of a single rabbit. Rarely was hunting so bad in the woods surrounding your village. It felt as if something unnatural lingered in the air, a frightening thought that sent a shiver down your spine as you slowed your pace and gazed through the trees to a scene of total devastation. The forest lay before you sundered, littered with jagged rocks and vast chasms. The aftermath of the earthquake 3 days past. Pushing back the impulse to flee home, you moved closer. The adults tell stories of the world regurgitating treasures from long ago. Just a look, you convinced yourself. Your curiosity shortly rewarded by the sight of a large fissure, emanating a dazzling blue light. Against your better judgment, you squeezed through the gap, leaving the world you've always known. What is this place? It looks like a different world. Perhaps I should turn back. The elders are very strict about all the old stuff. If you come across anything strange that belongs to the old times, don't touch it. Don't press any buttons. Don't take any crystals. Come back and tell an adult immediately. But they're scared of their own shadow. Can't hurt to look around. Huh. It's rare for me to load up a game and actually have the audio balanced properly, preemptively. I didn't even have to turn it down. I like this visual style. It looks really nice. It reminds me of Divinity, and as well, I guess it should. As you approach the statue, its eyes flicker with life and it speaks. Welcome to the sanctum of the first mages. Please state your business. I just want to look around. The first magus awaits you, Ambassador Chunstable, representative of the King Under the Mountain. Who? No, wait a second. I'm just a boy from the village. I was just taking a look around. Then there was The Sanctum Guardians have been alerted. They will escort you to the administrative captain. Please, do not be alarmed. Maybe I'll go back the way I came. Please stay where you are and do not be alarmed. The Sanctum Guardians will escort you to the administrative captain. Resistance is not advised. You wait apprehensively for a moment, but nothing happens. Below you lies a large throne lined with immense luminous crystals. As you peer over the edge and focus your attention on one of the larger blue crystals, a faint voice calls out. Here is the gatekeeper that turns back the masses. Have courage, your destiny beckons. Who are you? What is this place? Come to me, the time is nigh. A powerful desire to leap off the edge of this precipice to the throne far below you washes over you. Or, far below, washes over you. Sweat breaks across your brow as you force yourself back, step by step. The voice vanishes, but the irresistible urge to reach the throne remains. You look around for a safe way down. I'm going to see if I can go into the settings. The camera movement is just a little bit chuggy. Let's see, so slow time, pause. That's helpful. I'm going to turn it on pause, probably. Okay. I'm just going to set that for a second. Graphics. Do we have VSync on? I'm going to try turning that off, and I'm going to pop the quality down to very high. Okay, maybe this will... Okay, that smoothed out the camera a bunch. I've noticed this with CRPGs. Sometimes the camera movement just feels a little bit jittery. It's annoying. It's still a bit uneven. Oh well. Not much I can do about it. Luckily, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of big sweepy movement, and this is probably also one of the bigger and least optimized set pieces because we never come back. You know, there's no regular gameplay here. I get the feeling going down here is a terrible idea, judging by the fact that there's some weird horror monsters there. I love this environment design, though. It's very unique. Are these golems? What are these things? Why would you do this, kid? Look, a boy approaches. Another human after all this time, but a mere child. He doesn't have the skill to survive this place. And yet he has come this far. Perhaps he is ready. Ready for what? This is all premature. He must develop the power, or else others will manipulate him. Yes, I sense it now. Are you capable, boy? Do you know magic? Magic? No, of course not. I'm just a hunter. A hunter? But of what, I wonder? Tell us. Do you always know where to aim your bow, even with your eyes shut? Enough. Leave him be. He doesn't understand. Besides, he poses no threat yet. Yes, let him pass. Let him see for himself. Very well. Go ahead, boy. Embrace your fate. Yeah, I would have ran away screaming the moment I saw those guys. But I guess we were being affected by magical compulsion, so... A boy, you're still a child, yet you heard my call. How can this be? Tell me. I don't know. Please let me go. I'm scared. I just want to go home. Yes, I can sense your fear. But this fear does not rule your heart. There's something else. You are different, as I once was long ago. You're inexperienced, your ability undeveloped. But there's no mistake, such a dormant, feral, raw power. An indisputable match. I don't understand. There's much to explain, where I have the will. I do not possess the time. I grow weaker by the moment. It took all my strength to raise the tower again, and I must rest now. In time, you will forget this place. You will grow strong and skillful and find a position in your world. For this, before I release you, I must entrust in you an insatiable desire to yawn. Return. I feel strange. What are you doing to me? For someday, many days from now, you will return to this tower, seek me in its depths, and on that day, when my power is recovered, we will talk again. Please let me go. Forgive me, boy. You will come to understand, I promise. The memory of this meeting will vanish from your mind once you leave this place, but you will return, as surely as a seedling reaches for the sun. Now go. Run. This place is not safe for a child, even you. Learn thyself, give thyself to the world as I have. Return when you are ready.
Descending the stairs led me to a crystal throne which glittered with swirling light. I felt strangely compelled to approach and sit. As I took my place upon it, a sudden torrent of light enveloped me. The illumination overwhelmed my senses. I grew nauseous and weak, but before I lost consciousness, the throne ejected me to the floor. I fled and told no one what happened, for fear of being deemed tainted and banished from the village, for this was the way of my people. I tried to forget the experience, to convince myself it was my overactive imagination, but the visions that followed said otherwise. Every night, the nightmares came. Their torment highlighted my confusion, as each morning I remembered little, fragmented images, words which made no sense, nothing more. I would have thought myself mad, if not for the strange, incomprehensible symbols I often drew in the sand. Proof that forces beyond my understanding were at work. People in my vicinity kept their distance, and I think they feared me. Over time, they learned to tolerate my unusual nature, but I was always alone, left to brood and ponder my strange fate. One winter, it all came flooding back to me. I realized the crystal throne sat not at the bottom of some ancient ruins, but at the top of a construction incomprehensible in scale. That the ruins were not ruins of some lost city or ancient castle, but a single massive tower buried deep within the earth, and buried upside down. Some unexplainable force had lifted the construction into the sky, rotated it, and driven it into the ground. In that moment of clarity, I knew one thing above all others. I had to go back to that place, for the power within was the one thing that could save Artara. Years later, I found myself a commander in the last human kingdom's militia. The king, a just man and good friend, granted me a favor for my years of loyal service. I had but one request: a small force of men and resources to return to the village of my birth and explore the tower. Preoccupied by an eroding empire, the king held little interest in ancient ruins and towers. He did, however, see the reclaiming of a long-abandoned village on the border of an ever-shrinking kingdom as a boost to the people's morale. He gave me what I requested, and his blessing. So here I am, returning to the very place which has haunted me my entire life. It is a desolate place now. Time has not been kind to my village. Most of it has rotted or been washed away. Yet the tower remains just as I remember it. I am in awe of the power within, and perhaps fearful. The men and I are setting up the camp in the village, while Cain and Maev, two of my most capable warriors, will scout the tower. Once again, I feel its call. We must uncover its secrets. We must find a way to reach the power within. If we fail, it will be the end of us.
At long last, just as impressive as I remember. Is that a... That's probably a woman. It just is kind of a strong chin. I've never seen anything like this. Such green, healthy-looking plants. Whether by natural or enchanted means, something about the soil here produces abundant life. The key to our salvation. Whoever returns with the secret will be the king of all Artara, or queen. Is this the secret we came here for, my lord? New crops? I don't think so. No, there must be something else. Where there is one secret, there may be others. The potential here could be limitless. If you seek to uncover the secrets of this place, then we will do so. Maeve and I will scout the area before you proceed. No need for unnecessary risks. Well appreciated. Your concern is unwarranted, my old friend. After all, I survived this place as a child. But you are no longer a child, my lord. You are a commander, and we swore an oath to protect you. There may be outlaws or raiders lurking. Oh, sorry, that was Maeve. Well, whatever. Ha! Scoundrels are of no concern. I'm well aware Milord is a skilled fighter, but this is a matter of regulation and duty, Kay. I shouldn't have to remind you of that. A commander's primary task is to command, ours is to obey, and in this instance, assure his welfare. Maeve is right, of course. We cannot afford to lose you to some unforeseen danger, or a long-forgotten trap. Allow us to clear the way and provide safe passage. At your discretion, old friend, but be careful. I recall an unease about this place. Strange mechanisms and statues of stone and metal, and something about the crystals. It's difficult to recall. The more I try and remember, the less clear it becomes. As if some will beyond my own works against me. I will return to the village now. Call for me once the way is clear. As you command, my lord. Normally I'd allow the lady to go first, but duty calls for the strongest arm and the keenest combat senses to lead. Get behind me and stay close, fair maiden. This is gonna be a long journey. Did you already forget what happened the last time you kept calling me that? Wait, so the main character's just piecing out? Huh. So tell me more about Milord. You've known him far longer than I. Well, for one, he wasn't highborn. He earned the king's respect and his position through service and skill. I had been in the king's guard for over 5 years when he first joined, a formidable fighter and quick learner. He showed immediate potential, but he often had this odd, distant look in his eyes. So odd. To tell you the truth, it spooked most of the other men. And what of this tower? Does he truly seek a way to heal the land? Or are we on a fool's errand? When you have spilled blood with a man on the battlefield, you know his mettle, Maeve. I don't know what awaits us here, but I can tell you one thing. Whatever he is seeking in this place, he believes it'll help us all. And that's good enough for me. Okay, so broken statue. This broken statue is made of smooth glass-like stone, the likes of which you've never seen before. Next to it, there's a wooden sign with an inscription. Here at the fringes of the great northern forest, wise travelers seek the boon of Wrathchoke. Whisper to her the name of your dearest, and gain grace of the willow and strength of the oak. What's the matter, Kane? Don't think it'll work if you whisper your own name. It feels rather like a rather naive superstition. Besides, we have no time to waste conversing with a lump of rock. Let's go. Sheesh, lighten up, Shield Guard. I was just joking. Camera is still just a bit chuggy. Oh, and the frame rate's even worse. I'm just gonna keep tanking it down. This might be one of those situations where this actually just was not made for a Ryzen processor system. Actually, I can pretty much guarantee that. Yeah, I'm sitting at a solid 24 FPS. I'm just gonna take it all the way down and see if it fixes the FPS problems. Oh, it did. Okay, well that's a bit of a shame. Honestly, the game still looks just about as good. I'll try turning it up 1 or 2. Because currently we're on very low. Let's try medium. Medium goes to 27. Yeah, so this is a Ryzen optimization situation. Sucks, at least the camera's nice and smooth, and if I just turn it down to this point, it'll get fixed. Who knows, maybe there is some kind of fix along the way. But at least I can play the game. That's more important to me. Unlike Shadow of War, Kingdom Come Deliverance, there's been a bunch of games recently that have come out that just aren't optimized for my processor. Which sucks, because really I shouldn't have gotten a Ryzen. The problem is, because of By the spirits, what is this? This water's so clear you can see straight through it. It tastes sweet, too. The merchants back in the city would pay a week's wages for a pitcher of this. Look below. Have you ever seen fruit trees like that? Yeah, with the whole Bitcoin mining setup, trend to replace my setup and get a non-Ryzen thing would pretty much just require, for me to replace my entire computer at probably like 25 to 50% extra cost, which sucks. Okay, anyway. If a merchant would pay a week's wage for the pitcher of that water, they'd give half their wealth for one of these things. Careful. Eating strange fruit can have unexpected consequences. You didn't have any second thoughts about drinking the water before. Take a bite. They're amazing. I'll take your word for it. At least one of us will be clear-headed if they turn out to be poisonous. Your champions find a scrap of vellum half buried in the soil here. They can barely make out some of the faded text. I have traversed this vast cavern 5 times over, and I know
now that there's no way out. What have they done? Where are all the people? I was sitting with the quartermaster praising the gods for the fine price being offered for my crops. The next moment everything went dark. I awoke after who knows how long to find the middle of the page is ruined, but a few lines are readable. Alanya, I know I'll never see our little valley again. I kept the seeds from one of our plum trees, and I've planted them in a good spot with plenty of water. I've planted 3, one for you, and one for each of our children.
Can I press Alt to see what I can interact with? No. Maybe that's an option I can check out. Hotkeys. So move unit, attack unit, toggle slow time, reset attack target, cancel skill, drag camera, move camera around, map inventory. Nope, quick save and quick load. Hey, that's helpful. But yeah, no like view interactable button. Bit of a shame, but that's okay. Looks like you were right, High Courier. Outlaws up ahead.
Something's not right. Why are they just standing there? Why are they made out of bones?
One way or another, I'll get them to move. Get behind me.
As Cain and Maeve come closer, their torchlight reveals fleshless soldiers of a long-dead kingdom. Those are no outlaws. By the Great Spirits, what are they?
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Prepare for battle mode. Defeat a small group of what appears to be walking skeletons. So, this isn't that... Huh. This is interesting. Change party. Wait, do I seriously not get to play as my character? I only... Okay. So there's 5 more characters to get, none of which look like the player, the main character. You. Weird. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but at that point, just make one of them a main character. Okay, start battle. Okay, unit positioning. Position your units. Move Cain to a position where he can intercept enemies. He has high armor and can take a lot of punishment. Keep Maeve in the back so she can deal death from afar unchallenged. Let enemies come to you. Don't rush. Wait and observe. In the Tower of Time, the reflex doesn't matter. Only your tactical awareness and observation skills. Your champions generate threat when dealing damage. Melee attacks generate a 150% threat, and some skills generate extra threat. Enemies attack targets with the highest threat. Each enemy has their own hate list. When they are switching targets, it's indicated by a monster icon above their heads. Here, one enemy is breaking from Cain and moves to attack Maeve. In tactical mode, spacebar, you can see the red lines showing which champion is currently targeted by each enemy. Very important part of combat. Let Cain do his job, make all the enemies focus on him. And so they recommend slow time. I might switch it on slow time, honestly. 2 combat stances that affect how your champions behave. Stand ground and move and attack. Okay, let's go back for a second. So that's just above them. Some skills require a second click to confirm the cast location. Buffs. Others require marking the target area. Got it. Enemies in range of the skill are highlighted. Don't waste mana needlessly. It regenerates slowly in the early game. Use skills effectively. Maximize the number of targeted enemies. Okay. Certain enemies will target the ground, red circle, get out of them, or move your champions outside the range, interrupt or the cast, or break the channel. Certain effects like Blind Daze will... let's see. Blind, Daze, Stun, Freeze, as well as gravity effects do that. The key to victory on higher difficulties is to use both the battleground terrain and skills. Look for choke points, natural obstacles. If your champions are low on health or mana, withdraw them to a safe location until they recover. Okay, cool. I'm gonna just put him here. So I can do 1 and 2. So this really is kind of like indie CRPG. It's not gonna move particularly quick. Whoops. I don't know exactly what that guy's doing. I mostly just have to make sure that nobody tries to get past. So I do have Q, W, and heal. I might as well use the self-heal. I don't know how fast mana comes back. We've got 30. It comes back pretty slow. And these archers barely do damage to begin with.
So he's poisoned, but yeah, we don't have to worry about it. I might heal out of combat, too. Okay, so I'm just gonna pay attention to health. It looks like his mana comes back pretty quick, actually. So I don't have too much to worry about. Yeah, it's a bit slow. But honestly, it's not the end of the world. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it on pause. I'm not gonna be using it that much anyway. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, so we have found a Arcane Glass Maze. DPS, attacks per second, total damage, main damage, on hit, effect chance. Attribute 1 mastery. Gotcha. If I had not seen them with my own eyes, fought them with my own hands, dead risen from the ground, what evil is this? Such undying determination. Look there, the severed arm still twitches, intent on continuing the fight. I'm just glad they fell easily enough to blade and arrow. Perhaps we were just lucky. Next time, withdraw further back. Your bow is of no use, too close to the front line, and your presence only distracts me from the battle. We've just dispatched the living dead, and you lecture me over tactics. Really, Kane, sometimes you take your duty and rank too far. After all, you thought they were ordinary outlaws and led us right into them. Ha! Alive or dead, they were no match for my skill with the blade. Whatever you say, Kane. Arguing with you is like talking to a stone wall. Maybe we should go back and tell my lord about this. Not yet. We have our own duty to complete. Let's continue and see what lies ahead. Okay, so inventory or equipment screen. Your inventory is shared between all your companions. Each hero has basic equipment. When you remove any item from a character slot, base gear is automatically equipped. If an item cannot be used by a given champion, it's marked red. You cannot sell items, but you can destroy them to recover some resources. To dismantle... Okay. Itemization is very rich in Tower of Time. There are several statistics which can be attached to an item. Next to an item icon, there are several gray boxes which indicate a number of possible upgrades in the item forge that the item can receive. It'll be explained later when you get access to this technology. So that's these. Each item can roll either a prefix or an affix, green items, or both of them, blue and purple. In the example below, one of the items is of Sparks, which adds 1 to 3 air damage, while the other is Jagged, which adds armor penetration. Trying to figure... Oh, I see. Armor penetration 9. One example of specialization is that two-handed melee weapons have cleave damage. When you attack an enemy, percent of the damage goes to enemies in a cone around them. As you gain access to higher tier items, new statistics can roll, and some of them with a negative impact. Okay. So let's give him the hammer for now. I'll manage disenchanting later. The remnants of a bow next to the skeleton. Apparently there was little game to be found here. So we found a Rabbit Shock crossbow. And some water. Well, I should probably go back to her. Load up. There we go. Cave? Inside the cave, your champions see an animal that resembles a dog. Only it reaches to Kane's shoulders. It is feeding savagely and ignores your party. They walk away quietly. Teleport. A strange mechanism stands before your party. There are some letters engraved in its pedestal that read, Gardens. On the other side, there's another engraving, barely visible. This teleporter was committed by Baracus, master craftsmith in the year 42 of the 5th era. A teleporter? What did it teleport into where? Perhaps as the old tales say, that the ancients could move over large distances in a blink of an eye. Maybe so, but this one doesn't seem to be working, which is fine by me. I prefer to rely on my own legs to get where I need to go. Besides, the idea of disappearing and reappearing out of thin air doesn't sit well with me. I'll have to see if there are any, like, optimization things that I can flip between episodes. Because I actually am really enjoying this, and the slight chugginess of it is a bit of a shame. If you're, like, a totally normal person with a totally normal, you know, Intel-based computer, this will probably actually run pretty well. Unfortunately, if you're like me, and you decided to give the Ryzen a go, whoops. Oh well, anyway. Statue, weary of this world can be, and many's the hour that men's minds do bore. So lay your hands on Melpusia's feet, and be regaled with tales of yore. Is this some kind of game? Why do these statues talk to us with silly poems? Maybe it's just the ancients' manner of writing, or maybe their locks are opened by spoken command. Each of these statues could be a secret treasure vault. Let's give it a try, who knows? The second, I tell us a tale, spake the... Great spirits, I must be losing my mind. Did you hear that? I did. What is this thing? Place your hands on it if you want. I'm not touching that thing again. The fat from the hog roasting over the fire sizzled and spat merrily. Spake the first man, tell us a tale that our minds might be distracted from our grumbling bellies. Spake the second, aye, tell us a tale. Spake the third, I'll tell ye a tale. 'Twas a dark and windy night. 3 men sat around a campfire under the starless skies, patiently awaiting their suppers. As the wind whipped the flames, the fat from the hog roasted over the fire sizzled merrily. Oh, sorry, this is not, whatever. Spat merrily. Spake the first man, tell us a tale that our minds might be distracted from our grumbling bellies. Spake the second, aye, tell us a tale. Spake the third, I'll tell ye a tale. Okay. Is this done on a loop? Yeah, it is. So that's why I was confused by the voice acting. Your champions listen for some time, soon realizing that this is a story that will never end. Relic chest. Okay, we found some gloves. Guess I'll... Steel gloves of thrust. Armor penetration, health points, magic penetration. Oh, but it's only for her. Okay. I wonder if it changes the character's visual. Letter. Parable of the Little Brother. Throughout our town, I am the strongest in mana. So to the south, my path must be. My horse is packed, my farewell said. Yet my big brothers will not look upon me. They say I abandoned them, that magic changes men, and I swear I will not leave, till they face me again. Okay, well, let's quick save. Statue is different from the others, carrying a burden on his back, as if it were going somewhere. So this is a puzzle, but we've also got these guys, which are scary. Okay, so that gets us in here. Well, I like this. Remember me. We got a ring. Mana points, mana regeneration, and 1 mastery. Well, I'm gonna put that on... character sheet. Oh. You have 3 unused attribute points. You can see the effect of each point by observing the numbers on the right-hand side when you press up and down. Plus and minus. Hover over the attribute to see its detailed... Okay. So I guess we leveled up. So I can do Might, which raises his DPS and damage a little. Speed, which is his attack speed. Mastery, which is skill power. And Life, which is just hit points. Well, right now... I think I'm just going to put 1 into Might, Speed, and Life. Mastery is kind of important. Okay, we also have other skills. Her, on the other hand... Might, and Speed? And I think I gave her the ring. Shouldn't have done that. I should give him the ring, mainly because he's our primary healer. At least for now. Skills. You have 1 unused skill point. Enough to select 1 enhancement effect for 1 of the skills. Each skill has 2 alternate enhancement paths. They usually differ significantly. One path enhances the destructive effect of the skill, while the other gives a crowd control effect. So, one path increases fire arrow's single target damage, the other turns it into an AoE. Mastery influences parameters of the skills. In this example, base effect is 3, but with mastery it's 4. Gotcha. Okay, so we have... Dash, Stonewall, Heal Wounds. Taunt, Reinforced Armor, Physical Wave, Blades of Justice, Command Aura. And these are levels. Well, what are the different branches? Oh, we don't have access to any of the branches for healing. So Stonewall. Short Wall blocks movement only, not attacks. Or Wall emits a slowing aura. Generates additional threat. Huh. So the top text here is the same. It's just for some reason the font changes every single time. That's weird. Kind of wish they'd standardize that. Oh well. So increased damage and impact radius, pulls enemies towards Kane, interrupts casts and channels, or reduce mana cost and cooldown. Wait, what? No. Okay. So, damage plus 20 air, radius, pull strength 8, weak. Versus... Well, having an interrupt seems way more useful. So can I get this? Okay, there we go. Now let's go to her. So we have a fire arrow, arrow barrage, and smoke screen. Additional damage pushes enemies back, or blinds enemies, their attacks miss and casting is interrupted. I feel like the blinds might be better. Especially because it's a 4-second thing. So otherwise we have explode, small damage, or crit chance. Bear traps, hunter's mark, rain of arrows. I mean, it seems like putting fire arrows into single target might actually be the smarter idea. Just because eventually we get rain of arrows. But we also get headshot. I don't know. I think I'm gonna get the blind duration though. Oh, it's much easier to see if I hover over the icons themselves. Or I could just hold on to it and wait for the next level. No, I just really wish you would actually tell me what future upgrades do. But I get the feeling we can eventually refund them if we want to. But yeah, let's go for the blind. Okay, and reset all skills. Oh. Can I just change that whenever I want? That actually could be a nice little plus. Okay, back. And let's get into one more combat and then probably end this off. I don't know if I'm going to stream this or not. We'll see. Magi Spirit. Damage battle mode. Group of dead knights and Magi Spirits are standing idly here, observing you with their dead eyes. Be warned, it will not be an easy fight. Dead knights are heavily armored, while wraiths can drain life of your champions. Fight! Okay. Start battle. Okay, when you hover your cursor over the enemy or the champion, you can see their base stats and current stats. If you have trouble dealing with certain enemies, you can look at their stats and adjust your strategy. Auras are an important aspect to combat. Certain skills project an aura around the caster, marked by a yellow outline. All enemies or champions in range are affected, positively or negatively. Multiple auras stack. This is indicated by blue circles around the character. In this case, 2 auras are stacked. If you let the enemies stack their auras, they can become very difficult to deal with. In such case, focus fire on one or try and separate them. Draw skills offer unparalleled flexibility in combat, and the moment you only have one skill, Cane Stonewall. Use it creatively to cut off enemies that channel, breaking their line of sight, or encircling one and removing them from combat for a time. And combat summary is at the end, so you can see how we're contributing to the fight and change things around. Okay. Is there, like, a sprint? There is not. Okay. Now, this guy is weak to fire arrows. Yeah, so they have an armor aura, it looks like. Oh. She was going for the top guy. We want to go for the bottom one. Regardless. Okay. And I believe we get our mana back pretty quickly because of that ring that I chucked on. Okay. So far, so good.
Still got a couple seconds left on that heal. I'm just gonna muck him up for a second. There we go. I like that wall. How long does it last? 14 seconds. Okay. Note to self, put more points into it. That's awesome. Okay. Let's just arrow barrage him the rest of the way. Because, yeah, we heal out of combat, we get all of our mana back out of combat, and we get some boots. Health regen, crit chance, cool. I'm probably just going to keep putting points into Kane just so he can tank stuff. Undead giant clad in heavy plate. A spirit of the dead, draining our life. What madness is this? Perhaps they are restless spirits in the times of the past. Stay calm, Maeve. Your fire arrows proved useful here. Those things do not like fire. We should remember that. Alright. Yeah, they looked a lot more impressive than they actually were in combat, but I guess these characters are not just newbies. So can I get up here? Quartermaster. Entrance to the Quartermaster's office. Access to floors 1 through 3. Huh. Quartermaster, eh? We should investigate. There could be information of value within. Value? The door's open. Come on in. Or, come on. Just a collapsed stairwell. I can't make out the bottom, but I see a faint light below. Too bad the space is too narrow for us. Maybe those skeletons crawled up from there. What if the level below is swarming with them? Hardly a worry. I doubt their weapons can penetrate my armor. In case you didn't notice, I'm not wearing any of your fancy shield guard plate. My life before my comrades, always. The third virtue of the king's champion. You should know me by better than that by now, Maeve. Wait, does that mean, like, he's more valuable, or he'll sacrifice himself first? Probably the latter, but it was a little suspect for a bit. Yeah, I actually like this game. It's charming. The combat's a little clunkier. I wish it had, like, a spell combo system. You know, Divinity Original Sin style. Like, if you could mix this dungeon design, whatever you want to call it, with like Divinity Original Sin style combat, I think it would be amazing. Bit slower maybe, but still. I don't recognize any of these places. There's no way this cavern could be 14 miles wide. This place must have been on the surface at some point. Curious. So much human history has been lost. Maybe this place will tell us about the events that brought our world to ruin. Reliving the past will bring us nothing but grief. We must look to the future to survive. If any man can see into the future, then I trust that man will be our lord. If this place is indeed a place of power, the only question that matters is how will this place be used? How the Lord's intention and our own actions are sworn by loyalty. By sworn loyalty are honorable ones. Only the spirits are all-knowing, Maeve. All the rest of us can do is live each day with duty and honor, and cling tight to our ideals, no matter what the day brings. Alright, and I think I've officially gone too long for a first episode, but that's okay. I'm enjoying myself. The chasm below the bridge seems to be endless. Your champions can make out some vague structures deep below. They're too distant to guess what they might be. I gotta stop moving because things keep happening. Reach the throne. Yeah, I've got a billion things just kind of going on here. And I'm having fun. So I guess I will see you guys in the next episode of Tower of Time. If you guys like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like. It helps more than you know. And if you want to see more, let me know. Because, like, I'm enjoying this, but it also kind of does depend on audience reaction, as always. People are like, meh, skip it. I'm like, aw. And then I have to move on. So please, your vote matters. Anyway, I guess with that, like I was saying, see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.